We assume the stars to be the ends of the cosmos. The stars are the end of the definite, of the defined, of the hard causal cosmos. There are more volatile layers, however, outside of the so-called visible cosmos, which have a less definite, determined relation to everything. It is more of a chaos than an order outside of the cosmos. And the further out from the center of the density of the definite, of the clusters of linear causality we are, the more into the chaotic volatility we find ourselves in. In this chaotic space, there is a space for creation, creativity, because there is less linear force that pushes into a predetermined direction. The cosmos is, at any given moment, finite in its constellation. Beyond the cosmos is this chaotic space of higher possibilities of creation, of being, of volatile relations, the twilight of beings and not being. There is less order the further out beyond the stars we are. And in this presence of creation comes more volatility and purity the further out we go. This volatile creativity is present actually everywhere, but it is in its purest, in its relation to other elements beyond the stars. To gaze at the stars sometimes is a desire for a freedom to have a greater freedom to be able to relate differently. That the stars have a pulling power to draw the attention away from our personal position and relation in our immediate environment. Thus, gazing at the stars, or just thinking about them, is to gain a positive freedom and power to create a different perspective, in order to then relate differently, in a creative way, to our immediate environment. The ascension, thus beyond the stars, or tapping into this creative, volatile space, is to gain that freedom to create, to unravel our perspective from cycles of repetition, of determinations that we might find ourselves in. From the perspective of creativity, we are able to choose the way we respond to anything and everything. The power of creativity comes from space itself, just as everything was and is born out of space, including the stars. And thus the lure of the stars is a reminder that there is something beyond the order of causality, and that there is a direction that is beyond any predicament, and that there is something always to discover. The act of moving beyond the stars is an act of creativity in itself, and sometimes it is to discover that which has already been created, to inspire and to take solace in, and to take from that perspective. In other words, to discover the creations of others, and to see the good in the world, and sometimes to take comfort and solace in just that creation is worth its actions. And so, that is also the beauty of the stars, that they have been created in some way from space. And in that, in their grand outward existence, they stand as giants of creativity, posing as beacons of inspiration and beauty.